Good afternoon and welcome back, everybody. Today we have both a module announcement and a quick tutorial for something that I see come up a lot in the Discord. So let's dive right in. Firstly, with what I see people asking about on the Discord is how do I break up my skill descriptions into multiple rows of a dynamic table? In our previous videos, we talked a bit about using flexible positioning or the display flex property, and that's a great component. However, flexible conditioning only works on one axis at a time, either X or Y, which is often all you need. But in some cases, we want to control the X and the Y axis at the same time, especially when we're talking about big swaths of our entire character sheet, which is what the grid layout excels at. As we can see, we are not in our normal tutorial world, but in fact a blank world with nothing else going on except for we are using the custom CSS module so we can watch how the code works in real time. We're going to start by creating a new template and calling it tester. And this is going to be where we make our dynamic table. And what if we want a description to be on its own row between these two every single time? And I'll go ahead and start by opening up a custom CSS here. And we will start by targeting our skill display table. Skill table. And specifically, I want to go into the row. So that's an HTML TR. And for those who are not as familiar with HTML and CSS, if I open up our inspector by pressing F12 and view an actual case of our actor sheet, we can see that a dynamic table still is just a table. It starts right here. So it starts as a div, as all CSS components do, but it starts with a table body, and then a row for each row, including the headers. Each row contains multiple TDs, which is table data for the cells. So we want to target each entire row. And just to show you what this exactly is selecting, we can go background, color, red. And so you see that it actually selected both rows, so you can't really see what's going on too easily, but if I say border, actually let's do border red instead of background color. Border 1px solid red. And now we can see each of our rows have been highlighted. Now we want to get the description panel, but actually we're going to work with the row. Before we get the description panel, actually, let's start with the entire row. And I'm going to say display grid. I'm also going to say grid template rows auto. And what this means is for our entire grid, each row is going to be automatically decided for the width. So we don't have to worry about placing it. And the reason we had to type this out twice is because we want 2 rows in our dynamic table. And so the reason we do auto, because there's 2 rows, even if we have more, it's because we're not talking about these rows. So if I open Paint right here, and I want to make a new row, what we currently have is all of our components and a row. And if this is how I was going to keep it in one row, I would just say auto once. But what I actually want to happen is for every one row that exists now, I want there to be 2. So that's why we're saying auto, and it doesn't need to change with the number of rows we have in our displayer. It needs to change with the number of rows we want to be in our hypothetical end result. And so what I want to do is move this. I want to keep everything as is, including the little trash can on the end here. But I want to take our rich text area and I want to just move it so it's on a second row and it takes up the whole space. And so we've defined that we have 2 rows that will eventually happen. Right now, if I save this, it'll just be an empty second row, and I want to define the columns for those rows. So if I say grid template columns, what I'm doing is I'm now saying, how do these columns look? So I want it to be a column here to contain this first component, a column here to contain the second component, and a column here to contain the third component, as well as this last column to contain the trash can. And so that's 4 columns. Although, to be honest with you, This third one here is set to be invisible anyway, so we're going to go ahead and make sure that's hidden. We'll do that in a second. And so we're going to say we want there to be 3 columns. And I could go auto, auto, and then 40 pixels for that last column. But what I'm actually going to do is repeat 3 times for auto, and then I want 40 pixels as the last one. So it's going to be auto, auto, and then for the hidden one, even though it's display it's not shown, it's still accounted for, so we have to account for it here. It's going to be auto as well, and then 40 pixels for this last one, which is the trash can. Now that we have that set up, I can go into our skill display table again, and I want to select all the rows again, but specifically I want to get the data column with the nth child, which means I want to select the nth number of column. So 1, 2, 3, I want the 4th column because that's where our description is. And just to show you again what this is doing, we'll go ahead and give it a background color red, color red, and I can take this out real quick. I can take this out right quick just so we can see this. Now we have a description. This just selects our description table, and instead of saying background color red, I want to say grid row 2 because I want to be on the 2nd row that we're making, and I want it to say grid column 1, as in start at the 1st column and go to the last column, which is represented by -1. So even if I add more rows later, I want to span the entire 2nd row. And if I apply that, we now have our description table set up on our own rows. No matter how many we add or subtract, it'll always be on its own row. And we can go ahead and enter some kind of text, save it, everything works. On to the module announcement. I have been working on the custom graph module for a while, and I found a way of implementing the same kind of concept a little bit easier without having to do the CSS work. So for now, I'm going to minimize custom CSS, move it off to the side, and enable our graphs module. And I closed my CSS, but that's fine. Now we have this Irizu's custom graph options, including a new multi-row dynamic table option. Let's give it a MR test component key. And what it does is it actually creates a dynamic table with sub-rows. So if I wanted to, I could go into my 1st row. We have the headers, but which are going to be our header columns. But for the 1st row, I just wanted to have a text field of skill name. I'm going to put MR at the end because we already use skill name over here. And I want to give another text field, or no, I want a number field of skill modifier MR. Same thing with the cleaner, so skill modifier cleaner, where we take same row of skill modifier MR, and we make it. We make sure it's a number. You know what? Just for fun, fallback. Take that same information, make sure it falls back to 0 if nothing comes back, and then reload. And now, when we have the add row button, you can see we have our skill name of name and row. Or sorry, we modifier of 1, and that does update with same row, working just fine. We can add an additional sub-row to be accounted for of a rich text area and say skill description for MR, for the description panel, and refresh. And now we have our description panel under our sub-row. And so as we continue to add more rows, our panels automatically do what we want it to. We can go out of our dynamic table and say, we don't need a component key since it's just global. Look up on the MR test table, and I want to get this skill MR. I believe it was actually skill modifier cleaner MR. Let me go ahead and grab that real quick. Yeah, skill modifier cleaner. And when I reload, I didn't open our curly brackets. And when we reload that now that's actually correct, we can see we have the array of all of our modifiers ready to go, and it works with the other things as usual after the lookup. So if I wanted to sum it, first it, all that stuff should work just fine. So let's give it another skill with 2. Now we have 3 at the bottom. And so that's just a lot easier of a way to do similar things without the same level of CSS. It also allows more components to be in here. So if you want your pictures or whatnot, so if you want skill descriptions or pictures to be in here, you can. You can throw down a panel, which you can throw a description in here. And I want it to be collapsible. And the reason for that is when I refresh, all of our description panels now have collapsible panels to not take up so much room. And there's other ways, you can do this, but I can give it a description here. But now the way I've done it is we have a description panel that uncollapse and show our descriptions. And we can remove that label there to make it not so repetitive. But here we go, collapsible description panels and a multi-row column. It does work with other things. So if this was, say, a reputation panel, I could have a clock for reputation tracker and go ahead and make a clock. However, I need it to be for my system using my custom clock module, and I want the background to be clear if nothing is in use. So go ahead and save that, reload, and now we have our clocks. Of course, the sizing is still a little odd. Like the defaults are not that great, except for at the small level, in my opinion, but they're easy to change with CSS anyway, and custom sizing. So there we go. I just want to say thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're almost at 250 subscribers, which is freaking awesome. And it's halfway to the monetization mark for YouTube, so I can actually start getting a little bit of return on these series. And I appreciate your support this far. It's been freaking awesome to be able to help you all and see all the stuff we've been making in Discord. So while editing this video, we did hit a 36-minute marker. And I went back and I trimmed out some of the fat with taking out the animations, for example. Though you can still pause here and get that code, I decided to cut out the second part of the video where we cover how to do the same kind of concept with item displayers. And I'm going to make that a whole second video and go into a little bit more detail. So expect that one in the near future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.